all over the world listening and watching. Everyone around the world listening and watching. This is session number 290 of Morning Journal. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, probably, Twitter. We're going to get strong armed into only going down to 2 platforms on the video side before long. So I don't know which 2 I'm going to use, but here we are, folks. 290. We're getting ready to get into the first little bit of our conversation, and I'm hoping this works out okay. Before we start talking about what we're going to be talking about, I want to share a few notes. And it kind of gives a little bit of context, hopefully, for everyone who is here and who comes to these sessions. We ask the question, like, what is this? What, people come in and like, what are we doing here? And I want to just kind of take a few moments to describe some of the how and why of Morning Journal, not from the standpoint of like what it is, but kind of how it works. And wow, how about that? So loud, so boisterous. Yeah. So we always start with some sort of check-in. And Tim says, not LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn is lit. Hey, listen. The top supporter that I have on the stream, like the number 1 supporter, found the stream on LinkedIn and came in here from there. So yeah, LinkedIn. So yeah. Tim says, well, that's not the one that you could keep. Think about it though, Tim. Think about it though. People on LinkedIn are what? They are adults. They got jobs, or they looking for jobs, or they being pros. And I get a lot of great comments and stuff on LinkedIn because this is sort of like, and guess what? LinkedIn is one of my largest networks. Let's see. I got more people following me on LinkedIn than I do anywhere else. As far as my personal accounts go. So, maybe I should keep LinkedIn. All right. So, back to what I was saying. I wanted to take a second to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes of how Morning Journal is put together every day. Typically, we get started with a check-in. One of the ones that we often use is how you feel. We want to find out how you feel right now, and we measure that. That kind of evolved. It used to be how I am, and then it evolved to how I feel. So if you look on the background right now, these are some notes. It's from a book by David Reynolds called Constructive Living. And I'm reading that book right now. And as I was reading some of the things, some of the ideas in that book, it kind of gave a little validation a little bit and a little context to the value of starting a conversation by acknowledging how you feel. And sort of in my preparation process for the show, I'll read, I'll take notes, I'll highlight things. And these are some things that I highlighted from that book. So there's 5 points. And if you notice, the prompts that are coming later are going to be sort of related to these points. So the first one is our behavior is controllable in a way that our feelings are not. We can't control our feelings directly. We can't just say, I'm going to feel better. Boom, I feel better. We can't just muscle our way into a type of feeling. So recognizing them and accepting them is really important. So the right now I feel is a way of recognizing and accepting what is. I think one of the most important things that we can do is develop a healthier relationship a healthier relationship with what is. So recognizing and accepting this is what is right now. And also understanding that feelings tend to pass, right? And they also have uses. If you feel a certain way, there's a reason for it. So pay attention to how you feel, but also know that however you feel is going to change. So it's difficult, or maybe it's easy to let yourself be ruled by your feelings, but it's not particularly useful because you know your feelings are going to be what they are. And if you're just following your feelings, you might end up lost, right? So they're not a great guide to tell you what you should be doing all the time because, they're uncontrollable. But the thing is, what you do can have a huge impact on how you feel. So even if you don't feel it, once you start doing it, you might start feeling it. So you can make choices with your behavior that can have a positive impact on your feelings. So it's action that impacts feelings more than just thinking. Your actions impact your feelings more than your thinking does. So those are the notes or the points that I took from the book as I was reading. And then the prompts kind of evolved from there. So let's get into the first prompt that came from this reading. And it's kind of, and it kind of comes for your neck, as they do sometimes. But we're just going to jump into it, right? Miss Fire, thank you so much for the spoons. All right, Boston Gray is here, everybody. Boston Gray is here. Welcome in, Boston Gray. Thanks for joining us. Here's our question. I'll put up the request box for you to start thinking about it. So, what's one thing you need to be doing in your life that you are not currently doing? Like intellectually, this is your thinking. You know that this is necessary. But you also know that you're not currently doing it. So this is an exercise in awareness and acknowledgement. One thing that you need to be doing, but you also know that you're not currently doing it. Esso says, I know I need to be applying for internships and jobs, but nah. Yeah, applying for internships and jobs, that whole application process. There are a lot of reasons to avoid that. One of the reasons that you might want to avoid that or procrastinate on that is because it is a situation that's designed to set you up for disappointment and rejection. We wait, we postpone the no. If we know a no might be coming, we're hesitant to ask because everybody ain't gonna say yes because everything isn't a fit. So it's gonna be some no's and some blows to your ego. Whenever you gotta be in a situation, be like, hey, pick me for this. You set yourself up for judgment, and there's a lot of consequences that go along with that. A lot of emotional stakes at play. But it's necessary. You got to get in there. Waffles for the win. Thank you for being here. So what's one thing you need to be doing in your life that you're not currently doing? Thank you so much for the likes. Appreciate it, folks. So Noble says, sleeping to counter the pain and headache. I'm naturally nocturnal and a fan of morning journal. Noble, you need to go somewhere and sit down. You need to go somewhere and lay down. Don't make me kick you out of here. Force you to go to sleep. So we can look at things that are just present in the present moment, but I think the more relevant thing is to looking more at the big picture of things that, you know, might deserve a little bit of our attention that we're not giving. Miss Fire says, giving consistent gratitude and presence to those that deserve it from me. Giving consistent gratitude and presence to those that deserve it from me is something that I need to be doing, but I'm not. Miss Fire feeling like an ingrate. Feeling like an ingrate. So Boston Gray says, I should be putting money into an IRA so I can use the money in 20 years to buy houses to support myself. So I'm not managing my money in the way that I should. Okay. So Tim says, if you wanted to do it, you do it without thinking about it. Well, wanting to isn't necessary. That's the thing. Wanting to do it isn't necessary. You can choose to do what you don't want to do. Alexa says, I should be walking more. When I am working, I walk about 13,000 steps, like 2 days a week, but the rest of the days is usually under 1K. So you get a lot of steps in a couple days, and then the rest of the time you just be chilling. Tim says, elaborate, G. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, that's kind of coming. That's coming sort of in the future prompts. So we'll get into that. The whole thing about the stuff that we need to do that we know we're not doing. The reason that we aren't doing it is because we don't want to. You know? So yeah, Alexa says I should be walking more. Yesterday's step count was 240. Wow, yeah. That's hard to do. It's hard to do. Only 240 steps is, you know, that's hard. Yeah, so just being a little bit more consistent in your movement. And it will probably make it so the days when you're working is less taxing, right? So someone anonymously just gave me a series of emoji. It's like, I don't even want to say, and you know, you don't have to share. It's fine. You don't have to share what it is, but think about what it is. If you don't want to say it out loud, I get it. That's it's a personal thing. You might feel attacked by the question, but a question that attacks you is probably one that you are avoiding, and you know, facing up to it might be better than not, I guess. All right, thank you so much for the likes. Keep those likes rolling in, I guess. If you got them on deck and you in here, go ahead and drop them as they become available for you. So Tim says, get into the real money. Get into the real money. You know you need to be getting into that real money, but you're not. Giselle, thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. Yeah. Getting that play money right now. Get to the real money. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to, let's go to the next one. This is sort of a follow-up. This is a follow-up. It gives you an opportunity to kind of get a hold of yourself. So today I will blank, even though I don't feel like it. Today I will blank, even though I don't feel like it. So I've mentioned before, wanting to and feeling like it aren't required for you to do something. That's not a prerequisite. Like, first I got to feel like it. First I got to be motivated. I'm not feeling it. That's not required. You don't have to. You can just do it. Right? When you have some external, when someone is applying pressure to you externally, you find yourself doing stuff that you don't want to do because someone can bring some immediate consequences. They can bring the future consequences to the present, right? When someone is exerting authority over you, they can represent the consequences in your present environment. Most of the stuff that you neglect, you don't have to pay the price down the road, right? But if you got somebody standing over you, applying pressure, then they can bring those consequences to the present, and it's easier for you to do the things that you would rather not do, right? Because you choose to do it as opposed to dealing with whatever they got for you. Sometimes it's a social thing. Sometimes we'll do things that we are uncomfortable doing to avoid the social embarrassment of not doing it. So you don't want to look stupid in front of, a certain person, so you'll prepare. There's the social pressure. Everybody else around is performing. I need to step up and perform because I don't want to look crazy. But still, you choose to do things because you prefer them to the consequences. So you don't have to like it. You just have to prefer it to the consequences of not doing it. Like, I don't feel like blank, but I really don't want to deal with blank. So let me just go ahead and do it. And then once you realize that feeling like it isn't a prerequisite, you can find yourself making some really powerful choices when you're not ruled by how you happen to be feeling in the moment. Giselle says, I'm going to go to school again. Even though I don't feel like it. Right. Yeah. So sometimes we just need to parent ourselves, right? You need to parent yourself. There's stuff that you felt like you were under some type of threat if you didn't follow through. But then when that authority figure, the external authority leaves, it's up to you to master yourself. And then you be like, no, I'm chilling. You count it as self-care to like not force yourself into doing something you don't feel like you're going to do. It's like, oh, I just need to rest. I gotta, I gotta take care of myself here. I'm not going to put myself through that strain. But what self is it that you're taking care of through that neglect? It's certainly not future you. You're going to have to live in those consequences. And then you're going to be disappointed in your former self for setting yourself up that way. We treat our future selves like a stranger. Like that's not going to be us living in the messes that we make or the messes that we allow to accumulate. Like that's not us. It's you. It's you all day, baby. So we did the prompt earlier this week about on behalf of my inner child, I will. So we got to take care of our inner child and play and engage and create and have fun. We need to do things on behalf of our future self. We keep pushing, you pushing it down the road. Like the you that you're going to become is going to be, it's not going to be you. Gas Mask Pete. Misfire says, today I will write, even though I don't feel like it. I hope that you've been doing well, Pete. Appreciate you for being here. Yeah, this one's a little rough, right? Making that commitment to do the uncomfortable thing. But it's all related to that knowing that there's something, right? Knowing that there's something that you need to be doing, but you're not. So why don't we get started on that today? Let's do a little bit of that. I feel like the humidity level is rising. My glasses is fogging up. It's not a good look. Dish, Buttercup says, I need to wash this dish. He's like, let me keep it simple. I got a dish that I need to wash. It's good that you only got one. That should be pretty easy to handle, right? Got one dish. Oh man. Buttercup like Ray J. If I had one dish. Oh man. Buttercup's like, I'm just gonna keep using this one dish. I wash it every few times. Maybe I won't get no foodborne illness. So work out. Tim says, doing it as we speak, just do it. I honestly believe if you want something, you'll do it regardless of how you feel. Knowing should be enough to do. I hear you. There's a huge gap between knowing and doing, though. There's a huge gap between knowing and doing. It's like, oh, you don't really want it. I think the problem is a lot of times we want the outcome for sure. We want the outcome, but we don't want to do all the steps, right? So you know what you want, but you don't have, you don't want to go through everything that needs to happen to get it. So wanting the outcome is not enough. We also have to embrace the process. And I think that's the part where it kind of falls down. And a lot of times we have a faulty and incomplete understanding of what it actually takes. Sometimes we get surprised by how challenging it is to achieve whatever it is that we're trying to achieve. It's like, oh, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I just can't turn my mind to think differently. That seems like semantics, just do it. Yeah, but yeah. I think if at any point you recognize that there are things that you are avoiding, and I guess the point is that wanting to do it is sort of irrelevant. Wanting to do it is irrelevant. I mean, on any given day, it's irrelevant. I agree. I'm not sure if I'm understanding what it is that you're saying, Tim. Nothing. Bye. I didn't want to wash the dish, but I had 5 people use the dish. Okay, so I guess you did it. Thank you for the like, Buttercup. Tim, thanks for the like. All right. Let's give it a go to the next one. What is your pain pointing to? What is your pain pointing to is the question. So when something is hurting, we can get all wrapped up into the sensation of the pain, and we want to deal with the pain. But if we don't get an understanding of what that pain is pointing to, then any solution or resolution to that pain is temporary. So pain is useful. Pain is useful. It's not pleasant, but it's useful. It's trying to tell you something. So when you think about where it hurts, what is that pain pointing to? I said, my poor feet. My poor feet. So what is your pain pointing to? Snails, eggs, hands, traps. Miss Wright says therapy. It's pointing to therapy. Buttercup says, you ever been out on the corner shaking your knees for a nickel? Shaking your knees for a nickel. Hey Emma, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. And Miss Wright, thank you for the like. Buttercup says, I won 3rd place in Emmy's thing last month. What is that all about? So Rachel is here. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Everybody go ahead and drop some green hearts in the chat right now. Retha is here. As you consider this little bit of the conversation. Let me make it so that she can see them. I still have the response up. All right, here we are at the top. Got the little trophy going across the stream. I really appreciate y'all for hanging out with me on this warm and humid Friday morning. I think it's going to be a scorch out here today. But it's all good. Nat is here. Thank you for joining us, Nat. So, Miss Fire said, did my answer make any sense? Well, I think I understand what you were saying. The pain is pointing to your need to get some help. Nat says it's going to be 102 degrees where I'm at. I don't think it's going to be that hot. So we're going to be in some AC, I guess. I'll try to stay in some AC. Got to try to get my walk in early before it gets too hot. I don't want to be fawning out there. All right, folks, thanks so much for the likes. We really appreciate you for being here. Let's go ahead and go to this question. What story do you need to stop retelling? What story do you need to stop retelling? So one of the points that we had in sort of the summary notes that I put up at the beginning is feelings fade in time unless they're re-stimulated. A lot of times we keep our pain alive by rehashing the story. Sometimes we become so identified with our pain because the attention that the story of our pain gives us, it has a benefit to our ego somehow. So we are over-identified with our pain and we keep it alive through the stories that we tell about ourselves. So we can't let go and move on because we are attached to the attention that that story gives us. So what's a story that you maybe need to stop retelling? I mean, there is a point of acknowledging the feeling, acknowledging what has gone on, accepting what happened. But at some point, you can't move on as long as you keep that story alive and as long as you continue to identify with it so strongly. If there's an unhealthy thing that is connected to that story that you are, it's a poison that you keep re-ingesting. So what's a story you need to stop retelling? So let this be your last time telling that story. This is it. This is your one chance, your last chance. Tell the story one last time here with us right now, and then let it go. So the request box is open now. Nat says, I need to stop talking about when I got arrested or when I found that dead body. I need to stop telling that story. We can't move into, so we become handcuffed to our past. And rather than living in imagination, we live in memory, and the stuff that happened, there's a limit to that. But there's a limitless nature to your imagination. So if you start being fixated on the story of what you are becoming rather than what you have been, then your life can get a whole lot bigger, right? Nat says, I like throwing myself pity parties and living in the past though. That's like that's my jam. Oh no, living in the past is my jam. It's comfortable and familiar. Yeah. Yeah, it's called wallowing, right? Wallowing is comfortable. It's like, I know all of this stuff. I know all of this stuff. This is all familiar. I can just wallow right here. So what story do you need to stop retelling? There's a story that is holding you back. No matter how true it may have been for you, it's no longer serving you. Maybe you can just leave it where it is. Because it kind of, you butt against, no matter how, it's almost like the stories that you tell about yourself are like a thermostat, you know? It sets a level of what you will allow yourself to have. Because at any point, if you get beyond, you achieve anything beyond what you feel deserving of, it tends to happen that you'll then start self-sabotaging. You'll start messing up, doing something stupid just so you can get back to the place that you were. So retelling those stories are keeping your thermostat set at a certain level, and you won't be able to move past it. And if you do, here you come back, you know? So those stories kind of set our image of who we are. They set the belief of what we deserve, the standard that we have for ourselves. That's what those stories do. They rekindle the guilt for the mistakes that we made and keep us trapped at the level of those mistakes. They enshrine us at our worst moments. And, you know, it's like affirming this is who we are. This is all that we could be. You know? And like, that's not true, but you can certainly make it true. You can make it true. Nat says, I feel like if I move on and I fail, every worst thing I thought about myself has been proven true. But if I stay stuck, at least I'll know where I sit on the level of stuck. Yeah. If you value, we are where we are, you know, there's comfort in the familiarity of it. Yeah, I understand that. That's a real sort of a governor on your potential. That's a limitation. Oh no, I get it. It makes, I understand what you mean. You know, that's sort of, it's like living in a prison of fear. You've imprisoned yourself. You've locked yourself into this place. Solitary confinement is extremely safe, right? Yeah, it's really safe, but it's a maddeningly small place. I'm afraid to try and progress. I hear you. There's a little bit of that going on for everybody to some degree. So someone anonymously shares, I need to stop retelling my whole stories. I no longer desire to be her. Lexi is what I called her. Too many random nights with too many people whose names I don't remember or didn't even know. I need to stop rehashing those stories. Yeah, if we want to let some things go, then leave those stories alone. Nat says, I'm afraid to stop telling those stories because then what if no one cares about me if I have no sob stories? That's one of the perils, I think, of being a person in public, being a person who creates content about themselves and their life, being known for the stories that you tell. How do you let that go? You know, in a way it serves you. It's serving a purpose. In a way it's serving a purpose. Tim says, host stories be good though. Well, I mean, you know, you have to decide though. Like, you have to decide what matters most and who you're trying to be, right? All right. So Miss Wright says, man, that I stole money from black mamas in my community. She lied. I used the money in a way it was intended. My life will speak for me. I don't need to try to save my name. People know me. People know me. So I think the one thing about the stories, I mean, it's important that we own who we have been. I think the question that is worth asking is why? Who is it serving to tell this story? Now, in many cases, we can use our life as a lesson for others. So if you share your story in service of someone else, it's different than doing it to kind of soothe, and wallow. I think it's important for us to mind the wisdom that we've gained through what we've been through and to share that with others where it is where it is can be useful for other people. But, that's different than using our story as an excuse or as a way to hold us back. Using our story as a tool of deprecation. We reinforcing everything that we don't want to be. That's not really useful. All right. So what story do you need to stop retelling? We'll take a couple seconds with this one. Once again, thank each of you for being here with us today. All right, let's get ready to go on to the next one. All right, so this one, how long is your runway? How long is your runway? So, let me reset the request box. Tim says, all right, this gym needs to be clean. I only work out 3 times a week. My husband works out every day, so I'm not finna clean it. I hear you. So it gotta be, we can, don't clean it by yourself. Just clean up part of it. Clean up. So we got 8. Every day is 7. It's what? 7. It's 10 workouts. It's 10 workouts that happen in there every week, I guess is what you're saying. And you only do 3 of the 10. So clean 30% of the gym. All right. So how long is your runway? So I was watching, I'm not going to trip. I was watching Flight last night, that Denzel Washington movie from 2012. And it's amazing, just when you watch a plane in flight, there seems like there's no reason why it should just stay up there. There's no reason. It seems like there's no reason why it should stay up there. But physics are what they are. They can make it happen. But you can't build the momentum to get off the ground unless you can get a little bit of a running start. You can't just jump into something and expect to stay aloft. You got to build up some speed, build up some momentum. You got to have a little space. And a lot of times the choices that we make, they are shortening. We don't give ourselves enough space and time to grow into what it is that we're trying to be. We need you need some clear space. You need some room to take off, and you need some room to land. So how long is your runway? How much longer can you keep doing before there's a problem? So if you're trying to land and you don't have a very long runway, it's going to be a problem. So sometimes you need to lengthen your runway to take off. You need to lengthen it to land. How much longer? How long can you go before you need to take off? How much longer can you go before you need to take off? Do you have enough saved up? Do you measure your runway in time? Do you measure it in skills that you've accumulated? Buttercup says, I got about 6 months. I got a 6 months runway before, I need to take off. Another way to look at runway is cushion. How much cushion do you have? How much margin do you have? Buttercup's got an interview for an apartment. All right. Jakey Smiley, thank you for being here. I love you, Martini. Thank you for joining us. Like, I ain't got none. I don't have no margin of error. So think about what you're trying to accomplish. How long do you need to go before you can take off? You're building up to do something. You're getting finna do something. How long you got before you need to actually get it popping? What do you need to get together? It's like, I'm trying to get my stuff together so I can what? What you trying to do? How long do you have? Jakey says, I'm giving myself a 3-month window to mentally prepare for something big in my life. I got 3 months, something big on the horizon. And sort of having a runway also, it indicates that you are you have a long-term goal, or at least a medium-term goal. Something that you know that you need to prepare for. So rather than jumping into it, it's like, okay, this is going to be happening. So between now and then, I need to do blank. There's something on the horizon for you. How long is that runway? Miss Fire says, I'm okay right now. I'm still building the airplane in the hangar, but really this fall is popping off. So you building the plane? I don't know. The people that build a plane are generally not the same people who fly it. So, Essa said, I don't know, beats me. I'll fly when I fly. So I know Esso there are a few things that are coming up on the horizon, like hopefully graduation. And then after that, after you graduate, how long you think it'll be before you need to have a little something popping off? A little job, little internship, little, Every day that SO doesn't apply for an internship or job is eaten up from runway. Jakey Snakey, thanks for the like. Caldwell, thanks for being here. All right. So how long is your runway? And I kind of thinking about it in the context of other questions that we have. It's really a question about procrastination. Procrastination eats up your runway. Well, since we're talking about goals, I'm moving to Australia here in a couple months with the goal to learn more. So you saving up a little money, you know. Esther's like, hey, I don't mind living with the folks. No pressure. Esther's like, I don't mind living with the folks. You're going to mind it when your dad goes in and keeps coming in to clean your room and shit. You can be like, look, I got to get out of here. Oh, man. Pop's coming in cleaning the room. Oh, man. Gas Mask Pete said, I got 10 days and I'm back in school. Like, SO's like, hey, I don't mind that sometimes. It's nice to have a clean spot. Oh, man. It's like, look, I'm chilling, G. I don't know what you're talking about. Ghostbur says, I think I found something good today. What'd you find, Ghostbur? Miss Wright says, my mom cleans my house sometimes. How about that? And I thought you earlier said your mom don't be momming no more. Sounded to me like your mom is still momming. I'll be chilling in the nest. Esther says, I'm gonna be sitting in the nest with my mouth open. You know how they show the picture of the birds, you know, with their mouth open, waiting for the... Hey, Noah. Hey, Warrior. Thanks, folks. Thanks for being here. Oh, man. So let's go and do, we got kind of two ways that we're going to recap. One, we're going to recap with the points from the book. The book is called Constructive Living, and there's like 5 main points that I kind of developed the prompts from. So let me first put those notes up for you in case you want to screenshot that, and then we'll go do our recap and get our key points, and then we'll get up out of here. All right. So these are the ideas, you know. So our behavior is controllable in a way that our feelings are not. Like, you're going to feel something and you really can't control directly and will yourself to feel something different. They just going to kind of come. They pop up from out of our memory. They pop up out of nowhere. And you can't necessarily control that, but it's important to recognize and accept it, and understanding that it is useful. Like, our pain points to something, right? So the pain is there, is pointing to something. We feel something, is trying to tell us something. But also understanding that we can let those feelings, we keep the feelings alive every time we keep telling the stories about them. So decide, you know, is there a story I need to let go that's making me feel some type of way? If there's a story that makes you feel a type of way that you don't want to feel, then why do we want to keep telling it, right? So those are sort of the ideas. This is a moment you can screenshot if you like, but these are the prompts, and I'm going to reset the request box and give you an opportunity to give me your key takeaways from today's session. These are they. And you let me know what you would like to take away. What you're taking away, and share with others your key takeaways from today's session. And as we do that, while we're hanging out with the VIPs, we'll go ahead and end the live stream over on the places where the live stream's on video, so we can just kind of relax and reflect at our own pace. This is the last video session of the week. And we'll see y'all later over there on YouTube and LinkedIn and all those cool places. Enjoy your weekend over there. Enjoy your weekend.